then bringing in the knees close to the chest. Let's bring the knees together as one unit, one knee in each hand towards your body, away out to the sides, closer to the top of the mat, then in together and back into your body. So making circles with your knees, moving away from one another, breathing as you go, getting maybe a bit of a back massage, feeling some movement in your back as you go. And then coming to a gentle stop and moving in the opposite direction, so knees towards the front of the mat, out to the sides and back together and close to your body. Breathing in a way that feels good for you. Making sure we don't hold our breath. And then slowly coming to a stop with the knees together. Let's then open the knees just a little bit, and we'll reach our hands in between our knees and grab the outsides of our feet, and then bring the legs up so that the feet, soles of the feet, are parallel to the ceiling. And we're pulling down on the legs with our back flat against the mat, basically from the shoulder blades through the mid part of the back to the lower back. Happy baby. And I want you to spend just a moment to see how you're feeling in happy baby, because we're going to do a little comparison at the end and see if there's a difference. How does your back feel? How do your legs feel? Is there any tension? Maybe a little bit of stiffness, anything of that nature? Or maybe you feel great, and that's, that's great to notice too. And then bringing the feet and the knees together. Let's lengthen the legs out straight in front of you on the mat, reaching up above your head with your hands and pointing your toes, and stretch, stretch, stretch. Do a nice morning stretch and relax. And then let's move our arms and legs over to the right, making a C shape with our body to the right. And you can have either the feet just side by side, or if you want to take the left foot and cross it over the right ankle, you can do that. It provides a little bit more anchoring, but wherever you're at today is good. And enjoy that stretch in your left side body, and your left hip, your left shoulder blade. Let's come to center and moving it over to the left. So arms and legs over to the left. We're going to grab our right forearm with our left hand to help encourage things over to the left. Try to keep your hips, both of them, in contact with the mat. So we don't want right hip rolling up and away. We want it in contact with the mat. And then back to center. Let's leave the left leg long and bring the right leg straight up to the ceiling, foot flexed, and grabbing behind the hamstring to hug that right leg in towards our body. And you can stay here hugging it in with your hands behind your hamstrings and your back onto the mat. Or if you want to migrate the hands up a little bit towards your calf, and then lift your head and shoulders up towards the knee for a little bit of a crunch, keeping that left leg on the mat. That's an option too. And breathe, don't hold your breath. And release. Hug that right knee into your body. Give it a good squeeze. And release. All the way down, straight out in front of you, grabbing the left leg in behind your hamstring, and then lifting that leg up straight towards the ceiling, foot flexed, pulling that left leg in towards your body. Either keeping your head and back on the floor, or if you want to lift those hands up more towards the back of the calf, and then lift shoulders and head up for a bit of an ab challenge. You can do that too. and lowering back down. Let's bring both feet to the mat and grabbing our hamstrings and then rocking up to a seated position. Let's find a cross-legged seat. You can either do a regular cross-legged seat, or if you want to do a half lotus with the one foot on top of the other thigh, you can do that. Whatever is accessible for you is good. Let's bring the right arm up, patting ourselves on the back, in the middle of the back with our right hand, and then take the left hand and grab the right elbow. So the right elbow is pointing up towards the ceiling. We're getting a nice stretch in the back of the right arm, the right tricep. And breathe. Try not to hold your breath here. And release. Let's do the same with the other arm. Left arm up, patting yourself on the back with the left arm, bringing that right hand up to the elbow and gently pulling back on the left elbow with your right hand. Trying to keep your head in line with your spine, all the way crown of the head to the sky. Feeling that stretch in the left tricep. And then releasing it down. Give a little shake with your arms if you'd like. Let's take the arms and the hands and bring them back behind our body for a reverse prayer. So fingertips touching, pointing towards the ceiling. And it can be further down your back, or if you feel like you have the mobility, you can hike up your prayer hands up towards your shoulder blades. If your fingertips and your fingers just touch, or they come close to touching, that's good. If your heels of your hands touch, that's good too. As long as we're going in that direction, opening up across our chest and feeling pleasantly challenged but not pain in this pose. And you can stay here, or if you'd like, hinging at the hips and leading with your heart to create a nice long spine, leaning over your legs, staying grounded in your sitting bones onto the mat, not, rolling up too much. And then if you want to, you can relax down over your legs and just melt into the floor if that's available to you. If not, you can stay sitting up, and that's totally cool too. If you went over your legs, leading with your heart, coming back up, hinging with your hips, creating that nice long spine. And releasing and shaking it out a little bit. And from here, let's bring the arms up and overhead to seated Urdhva Hastasana. So arms straight out of underarms, out of shoulders, but making sure there's space between your shoulders and your ears. Keeping biceps in line with your ears and fingertips to sky. Now from here, let's clasp our hands together, flip the palms to sky, and keeping your left hip glute glued to the mat, keeping your arms straight and shoulders away from your ears, lots to think about. Moving gently to the right, leaning to the right. Rolling that shoulder back, keeping the arms nice and straight and strong. And breathing. And then coming back to center, palms to sky. Then gluing that right glute down. Let's lean towards the left, stretching out the right side body. Making sure we're not rolling too much forward. We're rolling that shoulder, the right shoulder back. Breathing, don't hold your breath. And coming back to center. And then releasing down. Let's move into tabletop. And when we're in tabletop, we're going to make sure our wrists are under our shoulders and our knees are under our hips. And then we're going to rotate the hips in one direction. Doesn't matter if it's clockwise or counterclockwise. It doesn't really matter if your hip circles are big or small, but we're going to rotate the hips around and get a little bit of movement into the hips and the torso. And breathe as we do that. And gently coming to a stop and turning in the opposite direction. And paying attention to how your hips feel as you're doing this. Being aware of what's going on in your body, maybe the strength of your arms as you do this, the strength of your abs as you do this. Maybe some tightness in your hips as you do this. If you're anything like me, you feel a bit of tightness in your hips. And gently coming to a stop. From here, let's place the bulk of the weight in our hands into the left hand and flipping the right hand over so fingers point in towards your body, gently placing that right wrist down to create a gentle stretch in your top of your right forearm. Not putting a ton of weight on that right forearm, but just a little. Most of that weight is in your left. And then flipping it over, right palm to the mat, shifting the weight into the right palm this time, and flipping the left hand up so that the back of the left hand is on the mat and the fingers are pointing towards you with the left palm to sky. And breathing through that stretch in your left wrist and forearm. And then flipping it over. From here, we're going to place the bulk of the weight in the left hand and the right knee, and then lift the right hand and left leg so that they're straight in front and straight behind you respectively. And this is a bit of a balance pose. We're going to do some standing balance poses too, but this, can be a bit challenging as well to stay upright. And lowering down to tabletop. Then lifting up the left arm and right leg and lowering down. And alternating side to side, alternate arm and leg. And as we're doing this, we want to keep our chest and our torso parallel to the mat, to the ground. And focus on having your back flat as if there's a hot cup of coffee off there that you don't want to spill, because, well, you don't want to burn yourself, and it's always a shame to spill coffee. At least it is around our house. I love coffee very much. And this time, as you extend forward and back, if you want, you can bring elbow to knee, crunching it in, and then extend back out and lower to tabletop, extending arm and leg, crunching it in, and extending out. And then if you want to keep doing that, you can, or you can crunch it in, extend it out, and then reach behind, reach your extended arm back to grab your extended foot. Of course, bringing that heel in towards your body to help your hand capture it. And breathe. And release, extending arm and leg back, and back to tabletop. And of course, if you want to just keep doing the arm and leg extensions without all the crunch stuff, you can absolutely do that. It's all good for balance. It's all good for core strength and back strength. They're all just variations on the same useful foundational pose. And let's do one more on each side in whatever way you have chosen to do it. Breathing as you go, being aware of your body, the strength of your body, your breathing. really being present in the moment in your body. Now let's move into child's pose. Separating the knees, mat width apart, moving the hands all the way towards the top of the mat and laying the torso down. Just taking a breather. If you want, you can leave, of course, your hands straight out in front of you, or if you want to give yourself a little hug and bring it along the sides of your body, that's nice too. Just being aware of how your body feels right now. Coming back to tabletop. From tabletop, let's bring the right foot forward in between the hands, coming up to a kneeling position and raising the arms above the head, biceps by the ears, shoulders down and away from your ears, and fingertips towards the sky, with a nice lift in your chest, as if someone's grabbing you under your arms and kind of lifting you up. And from here, let's lower the hands down to frame the front foot, tuck the back toe, lift the back knee into a low lunge. Taking a breath here. Hopping that back foot forward so the foot is flat on the ground and pointed off to the side, then coming up to full standing, but with your right knee over your right heel bent and making sure you can see your front big toe. Squaring your hips to the front of the mat and bringing the arms up to high prayer into warrior one. And in warrior one, you may want to adjust your stance. If you can go a little wider and keep your hips squared, you can. If you need to separate your feet a little bit more to have a wider base for more stability, you can. Just play around with it a little bit, see what works for you. And then lowering the arms, pivoting the back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat, and then heel toeing the front foot so that it's in line with the back arch. Keeping knee over heel in the front, making sure we can see our front big toe and bringing the arms out to a T. Looking over the right fingertips into warrior two. Shoulders away from the ears. Arms nice and straight and strong out to the sides. Making sure we see that front big toe. And then dropping the back arm, lifting the right arm up to the ceiling and back just a little bit for peaceful warrior. Taking a breath or two in peaceful warrior. Nice back bend, nice chest opener. Back to warrior two. Watching your front knee over your front heel. Let's bring the feet so they're parallel to one another and to the ends of the mat. So pivoting the right foot in line with the left foot. And then let's step the feet in so that they're hip width apart. And from here, we're going to focus our energy down into the ground, making sure we feel nice and stable. We're going to open up across our chest, keeping shoulders down and away from the ears, and bringing the fingertips down so that they're pointing towards the ground. This is Tadasana. And from here, let's lift up onto our balls of our feet. It's a bit of a balance pose. And breathe. It helps to have a focal point that's not going to move for these balanced poses. And lower gently down with control. Let's also try diver's pose, and we'll do this on the other round on the other side, but practice makes perfect, so let's do it twice. From here, from Tadasana, we've got our feet in contact with the mat, nice and grounded. We're going to bring our arms behind us, straight and strong behind us, opening up across the chest, And then we're going to bend over, hinging at the hips so that our chest is parallel, in line with the legs, basically. Not directly parallel, but in line with the legs. And our head is tilted towards the floor. We're looking down towards the floor. And this might be enough of a balance challenge for you. And if it is, that's cool. And if you'd like a little more, you can slowly and with control lift up onto the balls of your feet for diver's pose. And then slowly lowering down and leading with the heart, coming back up to Tadasana. Let's step the front foot forward and have front heel in line with back arch, front knee over front heel into warrior two. And then we'll windmilling the arms down to frame the front foot. Low lunge. Let's come back to tabletop. And doing the same on the other side. Let's bring the left foot forward this time. And coming up to a kneeling position, arms overhead, fingertips to sky, chest nice and lifted, looking slightly upwards into crescent lunge. Bringing the hands down to frame the front foot, tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee to low lunge. From here, let's hop the right foot forward so it's flat and off to the side, coming up to standing, but bending that left knee so it's over the left heel, squaring the front hips to the front of the mat, and lifting the arms up to high prayer, warrior one. Nice and strong in the legs, nice and strong in the arms. From here, let's pivot the back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat and adjust so that the front heel is in line with the back arch. That helps us with stability. Making sure the left knee is over the left heel and we can see our left big toe. Bring the arms out straight and strong to a T, warrior two, looking over the left fingertips. Dropping the back arm, lifting the front arm up and over, peaceful warrior. Looking up at the ceiling. Bringing the arms back to a T into warrior two, broadening across the chest, nice and open, looking over the left fingertips. Then pivoting the left foot so it's parallel to the right, and stepping the feet together. I'm going to face the camera so you can see me a bit better. From here, you can do the Tadasana lift if you'd like. So feet hip width apart, arms by your sides, fingertips down towards the mat and lifting up onto the balls of your feet. If that's enough of a challenge, you can absolutely do that. If you want something a little different, you can shift the weight into the left foot. And if you're near a wall and you'd like a wall for some support, by all means, feel free to do that. Always safety first. So shifting our weight into the left foot and then bringing the right knee up so that the right upper thigh is parallel to the floor and the calf is at a 90-degree angle and your hands are in prayer position for this one-legged balancing pose. Or you can have it on the wall if you could use some extra support. And if you're good here, you can stay here or you can bring that leg out to the right. Bring it back in and plant it down. Shifting weight into the right foot this time, making sure the toes are spread, the full foot's in contact with the mat. Hands at heart center, lifting the left knee up this time, left thigh parallel to floor. Calf 90 degree to that thigh. And you can stay here, you can bring the left leg out to the left. Finding that focal point that's not going to move. Coming back to center. Lowering it down back to Tadasana. And as I promised, we can do diver pose again. So from here, bringing the arms back behind you, fingertips pointing away from you at about a 45-degree angle. Then hinging with the hips, leading with the heart. Nice long spine coming down. And this may be good, or if you want to challenge yourself, lifting up on the toes, on the balls of the feet. Breathing. The nice thing is if you feel you're going to tip, it's really easy to bring the arms out in front of you in a big hurry. They're not all tangled up with one another. They're pretty available. You can lower the heels back down and leading with the heart coming back up. I'm going to turn back facing away from you so I can instruct you correctly and not get my lefts and rights mixed up. So let's bring our left foot forward towards the front of the mat. Left heel in line parallel with right arch, arms to a T, warrior two, looking over the left fingertips. Left knee over left heel. Shoulders down and away from your ears. And then windmilling the hands forward to frame the front foot, we're going to go into a low lunge. And back to tabletop. From here, let's walk the hands forward just a little. And bring the right knee to your right wrist. We're going to do some pigeon. So in pigeon, we're going to make sure that the left leg is nice and long. Top of the left foot is in contact with the mat. The chest is kind of like crescent lunge. It's almost imagining someone's got you under the arms and is kind of lifting you up. We're doing that to ensure that the spine is nice and long, it's not compressed in the back, and looking up towards the ceiling. Fingertips perhaps tented on the mat, that's probably more comfortable, and making sure that your pelvis is centered in your body. So you're not like rolling off onto your right glute. I had done that for years, and that was a mistake until a good friend of mine who's a yoga instructor corrected me. She's like, you're supposed to be in the middle. And she's right. So you can now walk your hands forward just a little bit. If you want to just press your hands into the mat right in front of you, that's cool. If you're able to come down onto your forearms, that's good. If you're able to come all the way down, that's good too. The main thing here is we stay centered in our hips. We're not rolling off to the right. We're pleasantly challenging ourselves and we don't feel any pain or anything of that nature. And we're breathing. And we're trying to relax into our hips. And of course, you can back off if that makes more sense for where you're at today, or you can move a little deeper into the pose if that is accessible to you. Coming up, hands onto the mat, fingertips onto the mat, and back to tabletop. Other side now, we're going to walk the hands forward a little. Bring left knee to left wrist and lay the right leg down nice and long behind us. Fingertips in contact with the mat, chest lifted, gaze lifted, centered into our pelvis. And then walking the hands forward a little or a lot, as is good for you today. Pleasantly challenging yourself today. And pigeon is a lovely pose to sort of take stock of how you're feeling. If you're feeling a lot going on in the hips. Is it something that's too much and you need to back out of, or is it something that you can breathe in and soften a little bit? And if you can breathe and soften, can you go a little deeper into the pose today? Maybe, maybe not, but just paying attention to how you're feeling today. And breathing some nice deep breaths while you're here. And then pushing up onto your hands or fingertips and looking upward. And then back to tabletop. Let's walk our hands forward again, just a little. And we'll pick the right foot up and step it forward so it's on the outside of the right hand. And we're going to move into lizard from here. So, well, I mean, technically speaking, we already are in lizard. There's just different variations of lizard. So if you're here and the stretch in your front hip flexor is good enough and this is good for you today, then by all means, you can stay here, and this is a great place to be. If you'd like to come down onto your forearms, you can do that too. And you can hang out here. Or if you want to tuck your back toe and lift the back knee to add a little bit more muscle into the pose, then you can do that too. All of them are good. Wherever you are, breathe and try to relax. And if you lifted your knee, you could bring that back down to the mat. And then coming back onto your hands. And then coming back into tabletop. And then we can walk our hands forward just a little. This time picking the left foot up and bringing it on the outside of the left hand. Lizard on the other side. And just for fun, maybe check in with your body and see how it's feeling. One side versus the other. I'm feeling my right hip flexor a little bit more. Maybe you are too, or maybe, the side's easier than the other. Just breathing into any sensation you feel, but backing off if there's any pain. And you can stay here, or you can lower onto your forearms. Remember taking a moment to breathe here. And then if you want, you can tuck the back toes and lift the back knee on this side. Being conscious of our breath, using it as a way to calm and center ourselves and relax ourselves in what can be a challenging moment. And that using of the breath and taking a moment to calm yourself down comes in handy for a lot of challenging situations life can throw at us. You can drop the back knee if you lifted it. Coming back onto the hands. And coming back to tabletop. And from here, let's lower onto the belly. You can use your hands as a pillow and look to the right. Bringing your right knee up towards the top of the mat with your right shin parallel to the side of your mat. And enjoy being in half frog with your left leg extended behind you and the sole of the feet to the sky, just nice and long behind you, while the right knee comes to the top of the mat. It's a nice gentle stretch. Then bringing the right leg straight back behind you, lifting up your head, looking to the left this time, bringing the left knee up towards the top of your mat with your left shin parallel to the side of your mat and your toes pointing away from your body. Breathing as you relax your hips down and relax into the pose. And then bringing that left leg straight back behind you. From here, let's bring the arms straight forward in front of you, right? Straight up, above your head, but on the mat or on the ground. Pushing into the left hand, flipping right palm to sky, then taking the right arm and slipping it across your chest under your left underarm with your right palm facing the sky, and then lowering everything down for a thread the needle stretch in your right shoulder. Whew, feels nice. You're not used to stretching your shoulder like this. I hope it feels good for you when you're doing it. If it doesn't, of course, back up. If you want to do a little something different while you're here, you can pick up your left arm, bring it behind your body, and bring the back of the left hand in contact with your right hip, taking the bind this way. Maybe lifting up your head and bringing it towards the top of your mat if it's feeling compressed in your neck. If you took the bind with your left arm, unwrap your left arm, push left hand on into the mat, and then unwind your right arm and bring both arms back up to the top of your mat above your head. And this time we're going to press into the right hand, lifting the right underarm, flipping the left palm to the sky, bringing it underneath your underarm, your right underarm. So left arm across your chest, under your right underarm, left palm to sky, and lower it all back down for thread the needle on the other side. Just try to relax your shoulder into the mat. And if you want, you can take that right arm, bring it behind you so that the back of the right hand is in contact with the left hip to take the bind. If you want, it's just an option. If you need to pick up your head and bring it towards the top of the mat to lengthen out that neck, you can do that too. Just try to relax into the pose. If you took the bind and wind your right arm, place right hand onto the mat, and coming up into a seated position, pushing up into a seat. And then from the seat, let's move into deer pose. So we're going to take the left shin and place it parallel to the top of the mat, taking the right upper thigh and placing it parallel to the top of your mat, and the right shin parallel to the side of your mat with your feet pointing away from your body to the right. And we're going to lengthen up through the spine, through the crown of the head, imagining there's a string through the top of your head. And then bringing both of your hands to the left, just for a little bit of a twist. And if you want to here, you can lower down onto your hands while you're in the twist. You can go onto your forearms, or you can come further down and breathe. And then pushing up, back to center. And then switching legs this time. So right shin is parallel to front of the mat. Left upper thigh is parallel to the top of the mat. And then left shin is parallel to the side of the mat. So it's left leg's at a 90-degree angle. Nice and long through the spine on the inhale. Exhaling, bringing both hands to the right for a little bit of a twist. Breathing into the twist. We don't want to be too aggressive about our twists, just, pleasantly challenging. If you want, you can lower down to your hands. So hands flat onto the floor, down onto your forearms, or further down so that your belly is in contact with your right thigh. Any one of these is good. And then pushing back up to a seat. Let's bring our legs straight out in front of us to the top of the mat, making sure our glutes are in nice contact, nice firm contact with the mat. Not shifting anything away to facilitate that contact, but just being aware. Legs nice and strong, feet flexed, lifting up through the chest, to the crown of the head, nice long spine. Inhale, and then hinging from the hips on the exhale, coming down over the legs. And then relaxing your head down and letting gravity do some of the work. And breathing. And if you can come forward a little bit, bringing your chest further along your legs, you can do that. If you're happy where you are, then that's good too. And leading with your heart, coming back up. Let's come onto our back with our knees to the sky and our feet flat on the mat. Our hands are beside our glutes on either side, with our palms flat in contact with the mat. From here, let's press into our feet and lift our hips up. And then rolling the shoulder blades in towards one another if it's accessible for you, and clasping your hands underneath your body so that the clasped hands are in contact with the mat. Your arms are nice and straight and strong. Your hips are yearning towards the sky. Your knees are in line with your hips, so your knees aren't going off to the side. Nice and strong. Breathing in the pose, and then gently and with control, lower back down. From here, let's bring our knees into our chest and hug it in for a moment. If you want to gently rock back and forth to give yourself a little bit of a back massage, or just do little circles with your knees going in one direction as one unit, you can. And the other way to massage it out in both directions if you like. And then hugging your knees into your chest. Let's take the knees as one unit to the left. And as we're doing this, you can either bring your knees up more into your body or bring them down more away from your torso. Bringing your arms into either a T or into a cactus pose. And your shoulders should be in contact with the mat. And make sure you're breathing. Bring the knees back into your body. Hug them in. And now we'll bring them to the right. And extending your arms out to a T with your shoulders on the mat, or up into goalposts. That's okay too. Just keeping your body in contact, your shoulders in contact with the mat, and adjusting your knees up or down as feels comfortable for you. Knees back to center. Now let's reach our arms between our knees and grab the outer part of our feet again, like we did at the beginning, and bring the feet, soles of the feet, in parallel to the ceiling, and pull down on our legs into happy baby again. And just take a moment to see how it feels this time around versus when you first got onto the mat and started doing these crazy poses with me. And see how you feel. Maybe things feel looser. Maybe you feel like you can go a little deeper in this pose. Maybe you feel a little more tired and you're taking it easy. Neither is good nor bad. It's just something to be aware of. Listening to what your body has to say. And then bringing your feet together and bringing your knees together and hugging them into your chest. Give yourself a nice squeeze. And then lowering the legs down into Shavasana. So moving mindfully into Shavasana, we're going to lengthen the back of our neck by tucking our chin just a little. Going to tuck our shoulder blades back a little bit, opening up across the chest just a little. Arms by your side, not directly, a little bit of space in between your body and your arms. Palms to sky, fingers relaxed. Face relaxed, back relaxed, belly relaxed. Tongue lightly touching the two front teeth on the top row at the back. Relaxing your jaw. Relaxing your glutes and your legs. And having your feet gently parted off to the side. And just breathe. And try to be deliberate about surrendering your body into the mat. Sometimes we subconsciously grip a little bit or almost brace ourselves, but we don't have to. The floor is going to support us, and we can allow it to support us and just relax our muscles into it, and in doing so maybe relax our mind a little bit as well. One of the things I love about yoga is there's so much that we do on the mat that's applicable to everyday life, that we can use in everyday life. If someone irritates us at home or at school, or we have to do something we don't want to do at work or in the doctor's office or wherever we are, and we may not be able to necessarily do a yoga pose right in that moment. That may look odd, although sometimes we can, depending on where we're at. Just being mindful of our breath, and even taking a breath or two in a tense or difficult moment to focus on that and use it as a tool to help calm our body in what maybe could be a tense or difficult moment, and allowing it to be our friend and help us feel a little more calm or think a little more clearly. Nice thing is it's always there. It's always available to be worked with. So that's pretty cool. And with that, let's wiggle our fingers and toes just a little. Maybe bringing the neck side to side to kind of loosen that up a little bit. And then bringing the feet, soles of the feet to the mat. and rolling over to one side. And then gently pushing up into an easy seat.